So our next semi-final then, an all-Canadian affair between Tania Edwards and Stephanie Barrett. Both of them had really strong performances in the quarterfinals.
En el blanco número 1 y representando a Canadá, on target number 1 representing Canada, Tania Edwards. En el blanco número 2 y representando a Canadá, on target number 2 and representing Canada, Stephanie Barrett.
And Stephanie Barrett came through in straight sets in her quarterfinal, winning it 6-0.
Yeah, she had a very good level in that match.
A lot of equipment there to carry. Talk us through it.
You know, spare bows just in case something happens, and on you have, you know, the quiver with all your arrows. You need at least 6 arrows because you shoot 3 and then they bring you those 3 later after the second end, so you need at least 6 arrows to get through.
Stephanie Barrett fires first and gets an 8.
8.
Now both, well, the country has qualified for the Olympic Games, so in a way, for these women, it's all about showing who would perform best were they to be selected to go to the Games.
Would be interesting to know if this competition is gonna decide who's going, or if they're gonna do that later this year.
It's different for every team, isn't it?
It is, yes.
And I'm sure there are many discussions as to which system is best, whether to tell your best archer years out that they're going to go if they qualify, or whether to keep the competition going right to the end. But it's a draw in that first set. Initial thoughts on styles and ways of doing this?
They both have a very clean technique and they look very focused.
Do different countries have different styles? Like if you watch, I don't know, a Korean archer and compare them to a Canadian archer, would you go, oh yeah, you know, without knowing, that's definitely, you know, a Korean style?
I think you can pick out the Korean style out of any other team.
So what sort of things would be different?
It's a lot smoother. There's no pause. It's like one movement. They don't seem to struggle to make it go. You know, it just flows.
Tania Edwards very unhappy with that first arrow, scoring just a 7. Will Barrett let her back in? Ooh.
8.
He's been given an 8. Edwards back in it.
9.
Just 2 points between them now. Final arrow. So a total of 26 for Stephanie Barrett. Edwards needs a 10 to square the match, and she gets it.
10.
It's brilliant.
Well, we saw them both in fine form in their quarterfinals, and they really are taking it to the wire now. 2-2 after 2 sets. See just how she pulls it across her face, Tania Edwards.
Yeah, there is a bit more tension on her face. It looks like she's anchors deeper.
Both archers with 2 set points each.
So Barrett's going to go first this time. Well, by Barrett's, she nods. Well, that's okay, she says. By her standards today, that's a poor arrow, isn't it?
Yeah.
And Edwards straight back in it. 2 ahead now.
The wind is a bit stronger, yes.
You can see that wind measure in the bottom right. It's just gone away, but you'll see it again in a moment. Well, not compensating enough there.
No.
Wind coming from the right hand side. All square. Here we go again. 9 for Barrett.
9.
Tania Edwards looking for a 9 or more. Oh, set goes to Stephanie Barrett.
7.
This is absorbing stuff, isn't it, Sarah?
It is, yes. It's always interesting and exciting when it's such a tight match.
Now, normally, how would how do these events pan out for the archers themselves? Do they socialise afterwards? Do they stay within their teams? I mean, obviously we're in COVID times, so things are different. But in the old world, how does it work? Do they mix, or is that saved till the end?
Pre-COVID, I think, it depends on every archer, but I think most of the time they do socialise and, go talk to other countries.
So friendships being built, at all these tournaments.
Yeah, a lot of friendships are built on archery fields.
Well, I'm sure these two are friends, but you wouldn't know it in competition. Edwards shooting to stay in the match.
Yes. 10.
And an 8.
8.
Now, is that the chink that will allow Stephanie Barrett to go ahead? Can she take advantage? No, she doesn't.
7 posible 8. 7 possible 8.
Final arrow for Tania Edwards. And it's a 9.
9.
So, Stephanie Barrett needs a 10 to square unless her second arrow is marked up. Oh, she's out, so all square then. Tania Edwards takes that 4th set, and it's 4-4. It's just impossible to call this, isn't it?
Yeah, and they're shooting quite well. It's very interesting to watch, and hopefully they can decide the winner on the next set and we get another shoot-off.
the setup of the bows, is it something you would change during a match, or is it something you never change once you've found your ideal system?
I don't think an archer is gonna say never, because we're always tweaking something, changing a little thing, trying something else to find the absolute best setup. And then it might be the best for this weekend, but it might not work next weekend.
So, all square going into the 5th set of this semi-final, this all-Canadian semi-final. Stephanie Barrett with the first arrow.
9, 9. 8.
She looked mystified by that. She was expecting more.
8. 8. 8.
So, Barrett with a 1-point advantage in the final arrow of this deciding set. She gets an 8. So, Tania Edwards, 9 to draw, 10 to win. It's an 8, and it goes to Stephanie Barrett. And Tania Edwards just couldn't believe it, could she? How did I do that? She thought she'd done enough, but in the end, Stephanie Barrett wins it in 5 sets and goes through.